Hey there, it's Tiffany of Clarity Conference Courage, Women's Empowerment. And today I want to talk about how to choose and approve yourself, especially after going through a divorce. Now, before we jump into this content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Share this channel with other women who have gone through a divorce, women just like you who want to build their self-esteem, their confidence, and move forward fiercely into their new life. All right, let's jump into this content. Now, I want to talk about this idea of choosing and approving of yourself. And the reason that I bring it up is because when you get a divorce, a lot of times it's such a difficult transition because you're trying to now think of yourself as this single new woman. Like, who is she? What does she want? Who is she authentically? Because if you went through a tumultuous marriage, 9 times out of 10, you had to shrink down in order to make that person feel more comfortable, especially if they were psychologically abusive or had narcissistic tendencies. You had to become a different person. It was almost like shape-shifting in order to make them happy in that marriage. So when you come out of a situation like that, you have to then get really crystal clear on who you are. And then once you get crystal clear on that person, you have to then choose her. You have to approve of her because your spouse probably didn't approve of you. That was probably part of the issue, is that when you were your authentic self, when you were who you really were, you were not accepted. And what's interesting, what I find is that a lot of times when you don't feel accepted in a relationship, it might be connected, not all the time, but sometimes connected to childhood. If you were abandoned when you were a child and you're dealing with a lot of abandonment issues, whether abandoned by your father or abandoned by your mother, or perhaps you didn't get a love and affection from the parents or the caregivers who were in the household, there's a level of you that didn't get the nurturing and love that you needed as a child. And so when you got older, you had this feeling of, I just want to be chosen. I just want to be accepted. And of course, if you're in relationships and you see a pattern a lot of times in bad relationships, you'll end up with the person who gives you the bare minimum. But you feel like, well, they chose me, so I just have to go along with it. But it's like, well, is that really the type of relationship that you want to be in? So a lot of times when you get into these marriages where you don't feel like you've been chosen and approved of all of your life, but this one person gives you that attention that you're seeking, it fills up the void from childhood. Now, I'm not saying all of you have gone through that, but I have noticed a pattern in some of the clients that I've coached where when you talk about their childhood, it opens up like an aha moment, like, oh, that's probably why you ended up in this marriage and now are divorced, because you have never felt chosen. You've never been approved of from the people that you loved or wanted that affection from. So when this one person gave you a little bit of taste of what love really felt like or what it meant to be approved of, you took it and you chose it, but it wasn't really what you should have chosen. So a lot of times after you get the divorce, you have to then really get deep into your self-awareness. Who are you? What do you want? What do you aspire to be? And as you get deeper into self-awareness and you start to pull out that authentic self, the woman who had to shrink down within her marriage, the woman who had to shrink down within her family, the woman who had to shrink down at her job for whatever reason, that's the you that needs to come out. And that's the you that you need to choose and approve of. You need to choose yourself, and you need to approve of your authentic self. This is that little child that never got approved of when she was younger. This is that woman that definitely didn't get approved of in her relationship, in her marriage. So now that you're divorced, the question then becomes, how do I connect with my authentic self? And then how do I choose her for all her faults and approve of her anyway and love her anyway? The first step, build a self-awareness routine. And when I say self-awareness, I'm talking about things like journaling, meditation, deep breathing, maybe some physical activity like yoga or going for long meditative walks. You have to really dig into who you are, because whoever comes up, whoever that woman is, that is the woman that you need to give her permission to live in her authentic self, to live out loud, unapologetically, and to be who she really is. So the first step is self-awareness, is the beginning of you choosing to understand who you are and then approving of her. Once you build that self-awareness, you really need to literally accept yourself, accept your flaws. Be okay with not being perfect. Be okay with not being everybody's everything all the time. Be okay with not being what other people want you to be or what other people thought you should have been. Be okay in the present moment. And literally, if that means looking in the mirror every day and saying, you know what, I accept you and I love you. Now, here's the thing that I want you to understand. You can continuously always try to improve your life and have self-improvement, and at the same time, accept your life and accept who you are in this moment. If you say, well, Tiffany, I have goals, I have ambitions of things that I want to do, guess what? You can still do those things and you can still work on becoming that person every day. And at the same time, accept this person who you are right now. Accept where you are right now. It's okay to do both. So self-acceptance, self-approval doesn't mean that you're not trying to improve yourself. It just means that every single day you still choose the woman in the mirror, you still choose yourself in this present moment while you're on the journey to becoming a better woman. So the second step is to literally accept yourself wherever you are in this moment and say it out loud to yourself. I love you. Look in the mirror. I love you. I am valuable. I am worthy. Say those affirmations to yourself every single day so that you can start programming your mind to accept the woman that you see. The third step is to build up your self-esteem and your confidence. Start believing in yourself. Start being okay with people who don't agree with you. You know, if someone said, you know, why did you divorce your ex? He was rich. He was making all that money. He was doing all these things. Nobody knows what you went through with your ex. Only you do. So be okay if you say, well, you know, I went through my own experience. You have the right to your opinion. And let's change the subject. Like, you have to be okay that everyone is not going to agree with your decisions. Everyone is not going to accept you for who you are. And everyone isn't going to like the life that you've chosen to build for yourself, this new life, this new you. Be okay with that and accept yourself anyway. Accept the fact that you did what you thought was best for you, your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, your emotional health, all of it. You made a decision that was best for you. And keep practicing being okay with people not agreeing with your decisions. It's okay. Just because someone doesn't agree with your decisions doesn't mean it was a bad decision. People have a right to disagree with what you do with your life, and that's okay. But that's also a part of you choosing you and accepting and approving you every single day. So I really wanted to make this video because I think it's something that is not talked about enough. This concept of choosing yourself, even if you weren't chosen as a child, even if you weren't chosen by your spouse, it's okay for you to now choose to love yourself. Choose to be gentle with yourself. Choose to show yourself some compassion and wake up every single day choosing yourself, even if you're on the journey to self-improvement, even if you're on the journey to becoming a better you. It's okay to choose the woman in this moment of who you are, where you are, while you're on that journey to becoming a better woman. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you struggled with this when it came to rebuilding your life after a divorce, this idea of really just choosing yourself and not being afraid to go against the grain of what other people thought you should be, or the decisions that you've made for your life, and truly approving of yourself. Let me know if you struggle with that, and what's one way that you plan to start choosing yourself more and approving of yourself and your desires. What does that look like for you? I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.